Good morning. Today I'm going to try to attempt a 4-finger knitting tutorial. You will get a much thicker, turn off my cell phone, a much thicker weave or knit. It forms like this really cool tube. So it creates more of a thicker scarf, cowl, whatever. You know, if you're a gypsy, put it around your head. If you want to use it as a belt, I actually have seen those really cute. They've tied them, you know, around their waist and different things. Make them long. I've actually even seen them put beads on them, different things like that. We're not getting that fancy today. However, I will be using a size 6 super bulky weight, Thick and Quick by Lion brand, or any of those. I mean, you don't want to begin with a yarn that's got all these wild fibers and different things, because you'll just get confused. Stick with something that's pretty plain. This is a light gray, kind of a pewter color, and it's really pretty. So we're going to get started. Same, I'm going to turn my cameras just so you can see what's going on here. I'm leaving about a 4-inch tail, tucking it in behind my thumb here. And I'm going to wrap it around behind my index finger, in front of my middle finger, behind my ring finger, in around my pinky finger, bringing it back in front of my ring finger, behind my middle finger, okay, in front of my index finger, repeating the sequence, going back in front of my middle finger, behind my ring finger, in front of my pinky finger, back around behind it, back in front of my ring finger, behind my middle finger, and in front of my index finger. Now your worker is just going to kind of hang, because there's nowhere really to hold it. So it's going to kind of hang back here. That's all right. That's fine. You can kind of keep your fingers together to hold the stitches. Now you should have 2 loops on every finger. I tend to start at the pinky and work to my index finger. Personal preference, you can do whatever suits you, but whatever you start, make sure you do it through the whole tutorial. So you're going to take the bottom loop over, bottom loop over, bottom loop over, bottom loop over. Now see this tail? Pull it behind and give that a tug or a pull. Slide these 1 loops back down to the base of your finger, okay? Give that a pull. Now, you have this string here. So it's clear over here by your index finger. Let me get this turned around here so you can see. It's over here by your index finger. Even though it was clear over here, it's still technically over by your index finger. So, you are going to come around the front of your index finger, above that existing loop, behind the ring, or behind your middle finger, in front of your ring finger, around your pinky, and back until you have 2 loops on your fingers again, starting with the pinky, over, 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 pull your tail, which is this one right here, okay? Now, it looks like a hot mess on the back, and that's okay. It's supposed to look like a hot mess at this point. So, taking your working yarn, which is attached to your skein, going back around your index finger, behind your middle finger, in front of your ring finger, back around your pinky, back behind, in front, down, okay? Now, it's getting to where you can probably hold it over here with your thumb. And it does get easier, and the more you do this, you're going to drop stitches, you're going to screw up. It's just learning how to hold your yarn, okay? So now, we've got the 2 loops, taking the bottom loop over, bottom loop over, bottom loop over, pull the tail. Okay, the back there on the back, see? Okay, there we go. So I'm going to work here. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to work a little bit more till you can start seeing a tube form. Just repeating that sequence. And whenever you're wrapping your yarn around your fingers, make sure that the remaining loops are shoved to the bottom. And when you re-thread your loom or re-thread your fingers, that you're doing that above this loop so that this bottom one always goes over what you just did. Okay, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to get a little bit done and we'll come back. Okay, I'm back and I have all this made. Took me roughly 10 minutes, and although this wasn't a full skein of yarn, it's going to be enough just to make a single loop scarf, which seems to be kind of popular right now, just the decorative thing going on. I've left a little bit, about 18 inches or so of my yarn left. I could probably do another pass, but I'm leaving it off here just in case I decide to wrap it or do whatever I want. Now, I'm back to having my bottom loops. I'm going to show you how to cast off. Cast off is fairly easy. We're going to take the pinky and move it over here onto the ring finger, okay, which gives us 2 loops. I'm going to take the bottom loop and put it over that. So now we have 3. We're going to take the ring finger, move it to the middle finger. We have 2 loops. You guessed it. Move that one over that. Pull a little bit. Now we have 2 loops. We're back to 2-finger knitting tutorial. Take the middle finger, move it over to the index finger, take that loop, give this a little tug, and now we have 1 loop, which you can take that one off, and you have this, what's called your finishing off, or your I call it casting off. It's a knitting term. And then you're going to take this last piece and run it through that and just give it a pull, okay? And that just knots that in. All right, so I'm going to go over here where we had our beginning piece, okay, and I'm going to knot those 2 just like I did in my very first tutorial, 2-finger knitting. This is 4-finger knitting. Okay, now I'm going to double knot that only for secure purposes, okay? All right, there we go. Now, this is kind of long for me. You know, it is pretty decorative, but I can probably double this like this and like it a whole lot better. I do. See, I like that. Now, I can take those ends and I can wrap it to secure that I hold it in this position only, or I can just leave it a big long tube and decide what I'm going to do. Now, what if I didn't knot that? What if I didn't? You can definitely, I'm going to unknot it to show you what I can do. After I just totally screwed up my hair. Okay. Alrighty, well, I think I knotted it too tight. I was hoping I didn't. So, oh, nope, there, I got it. Alright. Alright, so I have my beginning ends. If you want to wear this as a single scarf, you can just do an overhand knot at the bottoms of these, just like that. Then you will you can either weave this into the end here using a crochet hook, darning needle, whatever. And you can tie a bigger knot than this, and you would do that in both ends if you want to leave it just a single open scarf, I call it. However, I'm partial to the eternity scarves or cows. Cows are more thicker and, you know, bulkier and things like that, and that's fine too. And then I would just trim these. kind of close. And give something to my cat to play with. And there is my finished. It finished out about 28 inches doubled like that. So when you wrap it, it's going to be a nice little decorative scarf. Be great with a black, my nose is itching, sorry. It'll be great with a little black dress or a black sweater or a black turtleneck or a nice blazer. Very, very fun, very easy, very fast. Makes great Christmas garland. Hint, hint, nod on. So have fun with it. I learned this when I was in like 4th grade. It's still a very popular thing, especially with all the decorative yarns and bulk bulk yarns and fibers that we have now. Once you get the hang of it, you can use all those fun, bulky types of yarns that has all the little fuzzy and little glittery pieces and things in it. I hope you try it. Thanks.